After the last couple of budgets, you could be forgiven for thinking that the government's public enemy #1 is in fact the motorist. Every year we get stung just a little bit more for making a huge investment in buying a car, for spending hundreds of pounds of our hard-earned cash on running it, and wasting countless hours stuck in traffic on our congested roads. It makes you wonder why we bother, doesn't it? Still, the manufacturers seem to have cottoned on to our worries, and they reckon they've come up with a solution to cheaper motoring and keeping the Chancellor happy.
They started off in the East, in countries used to terrible traffic and pollution, and they're catching on over here in a big way. First was the Seat Rossa, followed by Ford's curvy car. More recently, we've seen the Daewoo Move and the Hyundai Matiz. Dare we mention the Mercedes A-Class? Well, yes, it did have a tendency to roll around a bit too much in the early days, but those problems are over and it's all sorted now.
Yes, our roads are now packed with diminutive little motors. And this is the latest addition to the baby brigade. It belongs to Daewoo, and they've christened it the Matiz.
This baby of the Korean Daewoo family is the latest in 4 new models they've launched over the past 12 months. And I reckon they've saved the cutest till last. It's cheeky and perky, and it reminds me of a taller version of Renault's Twingo, which has unfortunately never been on sale here in the UK.
This is the 5-door SE Plus, and it'll cost you £7,320. The entry-level model is exactly £1,000 less. Now, the Matiz is the smallest car in its very tiny class, at just under 3.5 metres long. But what it lacks in length, it more than makes up for in height. Which means, of course, that you get plenty of headroom in here. In fact, the whole driving position is extremely comfortable, and you do feel like you're actually in a larger car. There's plenty of legroom, and the boot is also a usable size. You get even more space if you fold the rear seats down.
The interior isn't as adventurous as it should be. It's smart and it's practical, and the curves are a bit reminiscent of the car, but I reckon they should have gone for something a bit more daring.
Under the bonnet, you'll discover that the Matiz is no pocket rocket. It's propelled along by a tiny 800cc engine that produces just 50 brake horsepower.
So you won't find yourself whizzing around at great speeds, but you will find yourself pleasantly surprised at just how nippy it feels around town. Out on the open roads, the experience isn't quite as fun. You can feel the 800cc's begin to struggle and you really need to work the engine. And as for the motorway, well, you're in for a noisy ride. But don't forget, this is a small city car, and that is where it will spend most of its life, pottering around town.
The Matiz is an ideal car if you're working on a very tight budget, or it would be a great second car. Overall, it's an excellent package at a very affordable price. It'll do 44 miles to the gallon, and it's a very cheap insurance group too. And don't forget, this is a Daewoo we're talking about. You know, great specs. And let's not forget the full Daewoo after-sales package. Sorry to throw a spanner in the works, but do you remember the A-Class and its tendency to wobble? Well, some journalists recently took Daewoo's new baby out for a spin, and they rolled it. They were reversing at 50 miles per hour and applied a half lock. Oops. So they phoned up the man from Daewoo, borrowed another Matiz, and it did it again. So what's going on?
Well, naturally, after our Autocar's accident, we re-examined and retested the car, and we're thoroughly happy that all our customers can be confident in the vehicle. It's very safe. It performs very well in the ELK test, which is set up to demonstrate a car's capability to avoid a small child in the road or an animal, and it handles very well in that manoeuvre. The Autocar manoeuvre is not really a valid test. It's effectively testing a rear-wheel drive car with a rear engine, going at speeds well in excess of what you should be doing when you're reversing around a corner. The new Matiz is really well specified. Even the base model comes with power steering, twin airbags. So for 6320, you're not going to need to add a lot more equipment to the basic model. Well, since we launched, we asked our customers what they wanted out of a car company, and the resounding answer was better after-sales support. So we introduced a 3-year warranty, 3 years AA cover, 3 years free servicing, including parts and labour. So all that comes with every Daewoo as standard.
All in all, I reckon that the future is looking rosy for this little Korean bundle. And who knows, its winning combination may even tempt John 2 Jags Prescott into practising what he preaches.